late Friday night. That one is going to pack the punch as far as the cold air, the wind, and the snow. Temperatures into Ramona now looking at about 56 degrees. Your dew points into the 50s, which means we're moist enough. We can still squeeze out a little bit of rainfall for the rest of the evening. We'll go ahead and say about a 30% chance of it. It looks like the culprit, though, has continued to push out over toward Arizona. We're on the backside. With that, though, still spinning up some moisture. We could lead to a little bit of rain later on to this evening. But we're waiting for the arrival of the cold front that's into the Pacific Northwest. That cold front moves through Friday night, and with it, heavy rainfall. We are talking about over an inch along the coastline. The forecast for you about 7 o'clock tonight, continuing to call for, I'd say, scattered showers, most likely just off to the east of I-15. We could still see about a 10% chance of rain early tomorrow morning at about 6 a.m., whether you're in Ramona or even into Hamul. I think we have such a moist atmosphere, we could squeeze out some drizzle as well right along portions of the 5 with the fog in the area. Here's the cold front. 10 p.m. on Friday. Now rain beginning to enter out over toward Fallbrook. Look what happens by 1 o'clock. The yellows and the oranges. There is a 10% chance we could see some thunderstorms with this activity and really intense rain. The pinks and the purples coming down out toward the mountains for most of us early Saturday morning. That's where they're going to see a lot of the snowfall, and it's going to continue to snow. I think this model thinks the rain's going to end too early. I think by 1 o'clock, we are still looking at a 50% chance of precipitation for the coast and inland areas. Watching the snow continue as well out over toward the evening. And once we get finally to Sunday at 7 a.m., most of it is pretty much all gone. Rainfall totals from this second storm system, you'll see them over an inch coming into San Diego and out over toward the mountain areas into Pine Valley, about 1.5 inches. Coming up, we'll talk about how much rain we picked up from this storm system and take a look at what to anticipate for tomorrow. Guys. Radar site for San Diego is down. So we have 5 radar sweeps. So we're tapping into them from Yuma, Arizona. We're also tapping into them from Orange County and Los Angeles. And this is the composite that we now get. Most of the activity is still out over toward the mountain areas, but I would not be surprised if we in fact see some rainfall coming down throughout I-5 and portions of I-15. With that rain, we're dealing with temperatures starting to fall. Now only sitting at about 59 into downtown. Ramona's at 56, the mountain communities in the upper 40s. This cool down, though, is nothing compared to what we're anticipating Friday night on into Saturday and even through Christmas. Broad look what's happening across the country. Our eyes continue to focus in on the west because storms move from west east, at least in the continental United States. So this storm system, already noticing the clouds out through Washington and Oregon. That's what's coming down our way, not only impacting California, but it will impact your travel plans to Utah, even through Colorado. Also watching another storm system that's forecast to move through Montana, pushing into the Dakotas and even through Minnesota for the holiday weekend. The areas shaded in pink, winter storm warnings are up for the Sierra Nevada mountain range. 4 to 24 inches. Those mountain peaks are what's really going to see 1 to 2 feet of snow, and a little bit lower elevations we'll see closer to around that 4 inches. That's going to last through Saturday at about 7 a.m. Winter weather advisories, the area shaded in purple. If you're in fact headed out over toward Reno or portions of Nevada, 1 to 3 inches of snow. Closer look out over toward Utah. Winter storm watch as the storm continues to push along to the east. You'll notice that from Friday all the way through Monday, so that covers Christmas. They could see 4 to 8 inches of snowfall there. Winter storm warnings coming down currently out over toward Colorado, and it looks like blizzard watches are in effect for the Dakotas, and that's going to be over Christmas as well, where they could see substantial snowfall and reduced visibility. For us, as we await that storm system's arrival, and even into Oceanside, almost 1.25 inches. The deficit into downtown San Diego now is under 1.5 inches. There's a good chance we might end the year pretty much flat, meaning we won't be in a deficit for this year. That's kind of exciting news. Here's your rain cloud forecast starting off at about 11 o'clock tonight. Still a 20% chance of precipitation lingering, some inland areas as well as right along the coast. Once we get to 7 in the morning, that's when we bump the chances down to 10%. You can see lingering out over toward Fallbrook, Palomar, and down toward Julian. Pretty much looking at a 10% chance of rain for the entire day. It's until we get to Friday evening at about 11 o'clock. Now we're seeing a cold front slide on down. Out ahead of it, we have the strongest chance of showers, and with that, the heaviest rainfall. Noticing it by 2:30, pretty much covering from Palomar back to Carlsbad, all the way out over toward Otay Mesa, dealing with that, and snowfall now beginning to come down through the mountains. Saturday, we're looking at about a 50% chance of rain all day long, but by Sunday morning, opening up presents under the Christmas tree with your hot cup of cocoa, we will have those raindrops finally gone, so you can play with all of your toys. Coming up, we'll talk about the fog that comes with this system as well. Netta?
That's perfect timing.
You're worried about the lines. I'm worried about the cold.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly.
Yeah, and you mentioned fueling your car, right? I think the best time to go ahead and put gas in your car tonight or even through
Good
tomorrow,
advice.
because you will avoid the frigid air that is coming our way with this next round of cold storm systems. Right now, we are taking a line.